I was here to declare open the Young Entrepreneurship Forum, and I was quite impressed with the level of happiness, joy, enthusiasm I saw in the faces of these young Africans. The hall was full, and they were all eager to make comments and ask questions. And I must commend the government of Egypt for organizing this. We need to begin to prioritize the African youth, and this, to me, is a clear indication of that. However, we must go beyond just organizing an event for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs need support, they need mentoring, they need capital, they need networking platform which this provides, and most importantly, they need training, and because some of them you give capital, if you don't train them well, they misuse the capital. And that's why I kept emphasizing today the culture of discipline, savings, thinking long term, reinvesting your money, and deferring, postponing consumption. It is so critical for African entrepreneurs because they have to succeed. We need them to succeed because if they succeed, they help us a lot on the continent.
Talking about, you meeting a room where you found lots of entrepreneurs who were happy to share their experiences. Normally, we always ask youth when they attend such sessions, what was your biggest takeaway from what the speaker said? I'm going to be asking you, what was your biggest takeaway from the comments that came through from the entrepreneurs today?
Clearly, the fact that they want to succeed, they are eager to succeed, they are very enterprising, they are energetic, they are brilliant, they ask the right questions, and clearly, these young Africans, I said to them, I said, the future of Africa is in your hands, and I think was very evident from the interaction that occurred today. We need to sustain this level of enthusiasm. We need to sustain this level of enterprise in our people. In some places, you need to fire, you need to ginger, you need to awaken the enterprising spirit in young ones. But here in Africa, it's different. And that's why I say to our government, we need to help these young entrepreneurs by creating the enabling environment, by creating the economic conditions that will help them to succeed. Because when they succeed, all of Africa will succeed. These are the people who help create jobs that will help the kind of explosive population we are beginning to experience.
In all honesty, do you think everyone is really caught out or should really focus on being an entrepreneur? I mean, it seems as if every entrepreneur has got a very good PR department. We get to see the glossy side of the entrepreneurs and when they share their success stories as well. And it seems everyone feels that is the way to go for you to succeed.
First, all of us don't have to be entrepreneurs. We need policymakers because policymakers actually determine the survival ability of entrepreneurs. We need political leaders. In fact, just this week, I wrote a piece for African youth where I challenged them to get involved, also in governance, and we are governed, and telling them that they have a lot of power to influence and determine how we or they are governed, to tell them that my generation and the one before us, we can do better. And this younger generation should take it upon themselves to help develop Africa. So all of us don't have to be entrepreneurs. And when you're talking about the successes you hear of entrepreneurs, for every one entrepreneur that succeeds, you don't know the number of entrepreneurs that have failed. And for also every one entrepreneurial initiative that succeeds, you don't know how many others have failed. So for all of us, including me, it's never a linear journey. And that's what I spoke to them today about, that the journey to entrepreneurship is a long-term journey. It's not linear, it's not easy, but with resilience, with hard work, with discipline, with a culture of savings, prudence, and deferring consumption, moving consumption forward so that you can save and reinvest and make more money, you can succeed with those principles. So for me, when Bush say, share your success stories, I always say to them, it's not so much success story than the principles that led to the success. Those are the things we need to teach people. Because if you follow those principles, your own success story could come from a different way.
Talking about the story behind the scene, you have been a major player in building entrepreneurs across Africa. What do you think remains their biggest challenge towards that growth as an entrepreneur?
The biggest challenge is the economic conditions, the operating environment. Our entrepreneurs operate under very excruciating and difficult circumstances, environment, factors. It's tedious. entrepreneurs here, you think of access to electricity, transportation, at times security, double taxation, multiple taxation issues. I mean, it's stifling.
So do you think we've actually overcome this issue of a lack of requisite skill within certain sectors to push that sector forward? Is it all about what the government needs to do now? I mean, how well positioned are our youth, our entrepreneurs today?
Entrepreneurship ecosystem is large, but there are things, it's like 80-20 rule. There are 20% of factors that affect 80% of what you do. You know, we need to create the right environment. If you create the right environment, the ecosystem that will support entrepreneurs further will come up. And also, talking about manpower development, we need to revise our curriculum so that we begin to train and produce people for the kind of jobs we have today. You know, every society keeps changing, should change. Depend on, we live in a digital world today, digital economy, and so we need to make sure that curriculum, academic system is patterned to support the economy we have today. But all said, I think first things first, first things first, have people who are committed, who are eager to succeed, and this is what I see in most young Africans. As the founder of Tony Elumelu Foundation that supports African entrepreneurs, I see a lot of enthusiasm. I see a lot of hard work. I see a lot of commitment. I see discipline. I see eagerness to succeed. I see people who are creative and innovative. Unfortunately, the environment is a bit stifling. That is why I'm happy when I see countries that are reforming. I'm from Nigeria, but I see myself as an African. I must commend the government of Buhari Osinbajo because things are improving in terms of the ease of doing business. Just recently, the World Bank said Nigeria moved 24 places. Fantastic. That's not where we should be, but I mean, I celebrated it in my office. I was at Obama invited me to the launch of his foundation. I spoke there. I commended it. I was so happy because I said to people, let's commend them for what they've done so they'll be encouraged to do more. And Nigeria being ranked as one of the top 10 most reformed countries for the year under review, amazing. So we need to see more of this in other African countries. One of the reasons I like President Kagame, I'll be joining him at the session later today, is because of how he has created the right conditions for his country, how he has improved the ease of doing business in Rwanda. We need African countries to embrace this. It will help the chances of entrepreneurs succeeding in those economies. And when they succeed, there's a positive correlation between SME success rate and ability of the country to deal with unemployment. And we do have unemployment challenge in Africa, and we must do something about it. And starting point is creating the right condition and also making sure you have entrepreneurs who are eager, because you might create the right condition and people are not eager to take advantage. But in Africa, that is not the problem.